I grew up in a crazy religious family where my father married my mother because out of the two women he was potentially going to marry, she was the one that converted to Christianity. This was God's sign to him, or so he said. I wasn't about that life, though. It's true, I went to church on Sundays, but I fell asleep during the service. I only prayed before I ate, and that was more of a habit. I didn't know the books of the Bible in chronological order. Actually, I didn't even know them in any sort of order. Deuteronomy what? My baptism wasn't even for me. It was because my father was scared that I would leave the church when I got older, and this was his way of keeping me close. For sure, I didn't fellowship with the other kids in my church. Those don't count. I grew up with them. They had to fellowship with me. Once I got to college, though, it was freedom. There was no, you have to go to church, unless I called home, of course. I could just do what I wanted, and I did. I chilled with the friends I met in college and went to the parties that I wanted. My parents didn't even have to know. As long as I kept bringing in the good grades, there were no worries. But eventually, I got tired. I felt weak, and I didn't have the motivation to do anything. I started to wonder, what am I living for? What am I doing with my life? That winter was the most depressing. I knew there was something missing, but I didn't know what. Once I came back for the spring semester, I was determined. I was going to join a Christian club. I heard from a friend about this club called KCF, or Korean Christian Fellowship. The general body meeting was a little overwhelming, so I decided to sign up for the small group Bible study to get to know people. That night, out of nowhere, I got a bajillion friend requests at once. Who were these people? They were my small group, some of the craziest, quirkiest, best girls I ever met. At first, I really didn't know how to act around them. Was I supposed to act all holy and pious? Was that what they wanted? Were they all really conservative? I had never made Christian friends in my life. Our first meeting was quiet. We went over the small group material and tried our best to get to know one another. It didn't really cut it, though. Then one day, for some reason, we all bonded over what girls bond over best: boys. It's funny that in the end, that one thing made it clear to me. It was fine. I could be who I wanted around them. They accepted me for who I was, and I didn't have to put an act around them. We started to hang out more as time went on. We studied together at the library, and they pushed me to try my best in everything that I did. We were accountable for each other, and we shared the struggles that we had going on in our lives. Eventually, though, I had to meet the rest of KCF. I couldn't just stay with this little group of girls forever. That's when retreat came just in time. Spring retreat is a tradition that KCF does every year during spring break. It's a trip for 3 days and 2 nights. We played games, prayed together, worshiped together, and listened to the sermon together. The first night there, we mostly played. We divided into small groups, and each group was appointed a newcomer as a leader. We developed a chant and a name for ourselves so that we could become closer to each other and have more unity.
Con los terroristas.
The Harlem Shake.
Pulling all-nighters, under 20 seconds. We were always exhausted. After a while, we used our time to catch up on as much sleep as we had missed. It was here in the late night, after listening to sermons, that we really contemplated. We sat there listening to the words that the pastor had to say to us, and all I could think was this. Here I was, sitting, waiting for something big to happen, waiting for my purpose to come and my meaning to become clear. But honestly, I just needed God's love. I just needed to be wrapped in His arms and filled again with passion. I just needed to be reminded of how much He sacrificed for me. It was at this point that I realized the importance of the people that were around me. They were my brothers and my sisters, my family in Christ, and the people that supported me. Let's not say that I didn't have friends, because that's not true, I did. Let's not say that I didn't have family, because sure enough, I did. But KCF was where I met the people that I love the most, the people that I could stay up an entire night with. They are the people that I can brave through any storm. They are the people that provide me with strength. They give me courage to try new things, and they made me see God and the love that He had to offer the world. Their love was a different kind of love than I had ever had before. They didn't push me to believe what they believed. Unlike my parents, they gave me a choice that I wasn't obligated or expected to do anything that I didn't want to. And unlike the kids at my church, they didn't hang out with me simply because I was someone they grew up with. They were there to encourage me and help me to grow both spiritually and as a person.